Alright guys, welcome back to the final push for Masters. We win, we're in. We lose, we're out. And let's just say the pressure got to me a little bit, and we'll see what happens. So, we're going to start off. We're on path 8. We've got Magneto. We've got our rank 4 SIG 200 on the second account. We don't need the Ascended 5-star this time. And we're just going to do Scorpion on node 17. Really nothing special here. Magneto's going to shut him down, and we just have to make sure we're playing safe here. Don't want to get clipped by him at all, and that's it. Play it safe. And I'm spent a lot of time planning, sorting out. I'm not always as comfortable with certain champions as other people are. I'm always looking for counters that I think that I can do, and there were a bunch of fights that I was concerned about, and it ended up being ones that I had already done this season that were my downfall, and some input stuff. It felt like a combination of like trying to do something that wasn't working and also just screwing up. So it's on me at the end of the day. Magneto came and took down this node like 22, the aggression prowess Zemo. A few seasons ago, or maybe even last season, I did this a couple times with Magneto. I did a whole bunch of Zemo bosses with him when he first came out. And even though this is hazard shift, aggression prowess, Magneto pretty much shuts it down. You'll be able to see that I hadn't done this in a little while, even though I did do some practicing. But my spacing wasn't perfect there. You can see it used one of my invul boost charges there because I messed up on the heavy counter, and I'm going to do that at least one more time or two more times. There, I do get the heavy counter. But right now, we're sitting pretty. We're healing up from willpower from the bleed that he did put on me, so that's fine. There, again, I mess up my spacing a little bit, but that's okay at the moment. Magneto's a global attacker, plus the magnetism, so we can keep the prowess in check, which keeps the power gain in check. He's nice enough to keep throwing those special ones. There's the third time that I decide to screw that up. Now I'm just going to, I think, go more for, hopefully, I think I go for more heavy counters, because those seem to be a little more safer for me. If he'll throw it, there we go. Get some prowess. We're up to 3 charges, like 3 bars of power. So I'm just going to see if I can bait him into throwing one more special. Go ahead, charge it, go up to 29, and now like a little over 30 prowess. He's down to 40, less than 50% there. Big old special 3, and then we're just going to hold block in case we get rooted, which we do, and he's down. So very happy with that. Then we come to path 9. We start off, and this was actually my second mistake. Just time-wise, it makes more sense to show this in this order, section 1 first. I went Peni. Again, this is my rank 4 Peni against Weapon X. We had done this fight before on a more difficult node, I would say. And there I screw up right away, throwing a special 1 into him, pushing him to his unstoppable. Luckily, that I totally get away with. And that was just a stupid mistake on my part, pushing him over the charges, being impatient, and being super nervous because this was such a tight war. And here I'm going to go ahead and bait the special 1. I'm hitting into him. My goal was to try and do like 2 special 1s and then a special 2. And I didn't even really need to. And right there, I mess up. And I try to intercept with my special 1. I pressed the button. Nothing happened. And I get clipped. So I absolutely did not just want to just stand there and take a combo to the face. Even though I made a mistake, I did try to intercept him with the special 1 there to get out of it, and it didn't do anything for me. So that was very disappointing. I was kind of devastated. I did ascend a second champion, which is Crossbones, because SIG 200, he is a shrugging debuff machine, and I've never had a Crossbones usable at SIG 200. Of course, I accidentally parry Photon. I had right at the beginning. My goal was like, just block, just block, just block, no parry. And of course, a parry. But here, even on hazard shift, Ability accuracy reduction from Crossbones, the shrugging. He's just a madman on this node. Even when I get to 1 bar of power, it doesn't even put the invulnerability boost on like the buff, like the invul buff on Photon. And here I'm just gonna bait her heavies. She's not even going to throw a single special, and I'm just going to continue to lay into Photon in the corner, make her full combo, and I'm going to combo her right back. And that was one of my scariest fights in my head, and that went really smooth. And here was my first mistake, which was a Hazard Shift, Shock Bleed, Conflictor, Crumbling Armor, Kindred with a Guidance Boost. We had done this fight 2 other times this season, and neither of those times did I have a problem. But what happened is I forgot that in the first 2 fights at the very end, I did a combo into a special, but I specialed right as I got rooted at 5%. And here I go for a combo, and I forget that if I push him to 5% mid-special, it is not going to root me there. It's only going to root me afterwards. And again, I have an opportunity to try and throw a special, even though I screw up the ending to this fight. I had an opportunity. I tried to throw it. Nothing happened. So here I do get stuck up against the wall here, but that's okay. It was just as his first set of degens was expiring. Now I can go and hit into him, no problem. We can parry. We've got the guidance boost. He decides to throw heavy, so he's stun immune again. That's fine. But it's just the end of the fight that I screw up, and I kind of knew as soon as I did it that it was a mistake. And it's very unfortunate. It made for a much more stressful finish to this war, and at the time that it happened, I was pretty much devastated. This was the first mistake, and then the Peni one was the second, and I just felt horrible because I felt at that point that even though it was super close at the time, I just felt like if I hadn't, obviously we've been in a much better position. And there, also right there, I go ahead and I evade the special one, no problem. There I get clipped for a second. So now, because I wanted to get away from the wall, I'm going to go ahead, launch that special 2 right there, but I was hit too early. So now he puts me in the root. He power drains me. Here, the root ends. I'm going to back. I get clipped for a second. I'm going to back off. I am dying here, but right there at the end, even I tried to evade. It didn't work. I couldn't get my special 1 off in time. It was very frustrating, that last little bit. Even watching it back, I just felt horrible. And that's the end of my errors. and here it's going to be smooth sailing to the end. And it just was it was just everyone watching the screen at the end of the war, watching the other team go. And luckily, they did not get through the bosses clean, and we did come away victorious at the end. We did have so that was great. We do finish in Masters, but let's go through the remaining fights. We have Path 9. We've got the One Eye Open, Shock Bleed, Future Ant-Man. We're going to take this one with Magneto. The bleed that we do get from the Hazard Shift is just healing us up. We're just going to bait some heavies, take some special ones on the block, and I can't really parry on this one, so we're just playing him stun immune. Even though potentially it's Magneto, I could have parried, and the damage I would have done potentially would have not been reflected onto me, but I am not going to take that risk. So here we're just going to go ahead and just keep taking those specials on the block, get some willpower healing from him. The magnetism is making it so that power detonation is like pretty much ineffective against me. Throw a big old special 2 on him, get that armor break on, and then just increase the damage a bit, because I wasn't really going to do much on a special 3 anyways, because I didn't have any prowess going at the time. There, nice little intercept off of the special 1, or counter off the special 1, nice little intercept there. Another special 1 on the block. And then continue to hit into the block, bait some more heavies again. And again, super safe fight with Magneto against Future Ant-Man. I was very happy to be able to bring in this one. That's who I felt comfortable taking Future Ant-Man here. Then we had a Toad, who's a global defender. And his poison really relies on his prowess, so I wanted someone who could deal with his healing and the poisons, which was going to be Omega Sentinel, who is not banned this war. So we just have to play around the shock phase. So in the shock phase, I'm going to back off and just try and hit into the block, which is also going to help with the node, because if you don't hit into him for a certain amount of time, he's going to start gaining those armor ups. You have to hit into the block to remove them anyway. As soon as we get into the bleed phase, now I'm going to go ahead, bait that heavy, and I'm going to make sure I end with those mediums, get that heal block on, so I don't have to deal with his healing. And again, you can see every time I hit into him, I'm removing prowess because I have an armor up all the time, which means as a global attacker, I'm removing prowess and power burning every time I hit into him. So again, I play this one slow, hitting into the block during the shock phase, hitting into him during the bleed phase. Go full combos and try and get some big old special 2s on him. Again, I just don't want to hit into him during the shock phase. That's the only thing. So again, shock phase is on, so I'm going to back off. I don't have an Odin pre-fight, so I can't hit in both phases on this one. So it takes a little bit longer, but again, I'm trying to play this one super safe. He's got some prowess, but again, I've got the heal block, and I can remove the prowess. I got the power burn. There we got some plasmas on, so we're getting some damage over time going. And again, I just want to keep hitting those, get those heal blocks on. I know you can extend the duration of the debuffs that you have with the light ending hit, but again, while I'm doing this, I was just so focused on making sure that I could just get my combos in, get that heal block on, and get some damage in as well. So again, it's a little bit of a slow fight for me. I'm sure it could be faster, but I would just want to make sure that at this point, I just don't want to die any more times. Season has been rough. I moved from, like, if you've been watching my channel for a long time, I was on path 1 and 3 for the longest time. And then this season, we switched up how the alliance we were in as a battle group. We moved to join S-Law, and we joined as one battle group. And in order to make it easier on everybody else, I moved from path 1-3 to paths 8 and 9. And even though I have been able to do my usual thing of crisscrossing, like this war, for example, we had this team was path 9 in section 1, and now is path 8 in section 2. So we got Oc as a global attacker against Storm Pyramid X. Really nothing too crazy here, as long as I can manage her prowess. Then that's pretty much all I need to worry about on this one. If I just don't want her to go to special 2. And I can handle her prowess by just hitting into her because we're a global attacker. So you can see that all the prowess disappear. And we also, when I have access to power burn and the power lock. So as long as I can keep those up, it's really not a big problem. Massive heavy damage there. Direct damage there on the heavies with Oc. We're close to a full bar of health. One more combo, and down goes Storm Pyramid X. Next up is Viv Vision, who is Nullify Immune, and she's on Rich Get Richer. She's going to have like 16 armor ups at the beginning, but Oc can counter with his power lock. So here we're going to bait a heavy attack in and immediately get the power lock on. Go for some parry heavies here, and we should be able to keep it on. Unfortunately, I do go for I go for like a heavy here, and then one of them is just not going to work. I'm going to back off, make sure I can go ahead again, go for the parry heavy. It's almost done, 50%. Big note, if you're above a bar of power, then you can block Viv's special 1. It won't be unblockable. It's only unblockable when you're below 1 bar of power. There, I tried to parry, tried to block. Unfortunately, she just got a full combo in on me, which is extremely frustrating. But we're in a good position here, and it's near the end of the fight. We're going to go full combo into special 1, get out of this fight as fast as we can. There we go. So Oc cleans it up, and then we get Oc again for a third fight against this Mangog on 54. We soloed it early in the season really well, then we got screwed by it. Now we're going to do it correctly again for this final war, and I was really happy to see this one. And this is our final fight of the season, and we're going to get the same shenanigans where we go parry heavy, no problem, and then we're going to have a parry right there that doesn't stick, so we're going to go ahead, parry again, but this time we remember to go for the heavy, not for the special one, which reapplies the power lock, and now we're back into the full cycle. We get the special 2-1, and now between the power burns, our power steal, we can basically go full combo into a special 2, and we go from the quintuple debuff here, where we went for the triple debuff to the quintuple debuff to now the sextuple debuff, which is 6 of them on, and now we're just going to refresh it either with special 2s or special 1, and at the end we're going to go for like a 90k heavy attack with direct damage to finish off the war. So I hope you enjoyed this push for Masters with me. It's been a long time coming before since I started recording to finally joining an alliance up that we can compete for Masters here, and we've accomplished our goal, and hopefully we'll do a rewards opening later on when we get the rewards, maybe even another 7-star to open. So I really hope you enjoyed the journey with me this season, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye bye.